chit chat tonight. I am up in the Himalayas. I thought I'd catch up with all of you guys. They tried to whack out Donald Trump. So hopefully we can get some of you guys into the chat and we can discuss that. Because that's wild. I mean, man, they just turned him into a martyr. That's crazy. I mean, I gotta tell you, he's not my ideal choice for the president necessarily, but if the deep state hates him this much, then, you know, maybe he really is the guy, you know? I mean, they've tried to throw him in jail, they've tried now to whack him, and it seems like, you know, the powers that be, you know, really want to get rid of this guy, so...
One person's in here.
Maybe this is,
Smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button.
This is the guy. You know, sometimes you don't get to choose who you get in history, I guess. Anyway, whoever just joined the chat, smash the like button. It helps us get more people in the chat. And we can all have a discussion tonight. What a crazy situation. And also, if you are in the chat, feel free to smash the like button, comment, share it. If you post it on your Facebook, it's great. Mish is going to be manning the comments with me and also helping me to spam the link for this so we can get more people into the discussion. So yeah, I'm not going to go too in depth on my thoughts necessarily yet. I'm going to wait for more people to come in. Right now we're in Gangtok in India, a place called Sikkim. It's a state in northeastern India in the Himalayas. Quite a chill place up here, actually. We're way up in the mountains right now, far away from all this craziness. 2 people in the chat. Guys, smash the like button. The more people that get in the chat, we can get started talking about this crazy scenario that just went down.
We got some new merch.
Yeah, we do. We got some new merch. If you guys want to check it out also.
Check out our store.
Just check out our store here on YouTube. But
we got bags, t-shirts.
3 people, Mish.
Nice.
3 people.
Mugs. We got mugs.
Guys, smash the like button if you're in here. There's 3 of you in the chat, so smash the like button 3 times. It helps more people see the video. Yep, so for you guys coming into the chat, I'm just kind of bullshitting, not really talking about anything yet. I want to get a few more people in here so that we can have a proper discussion. I want to get your guys' opinions on what's going on in the States and this crazy turn of events. So definitely, if you're in the chat, just take a second to smash the like button. And if you want to help us out, share the link for this live stream. You can post it on social media. We'll get more people in here. We'll have a discussion tonight.
Is this clear, guys? Let us know if it's clear. Because it's just started raining, so...
Just gained 14 people in the chat. That's good.
Cool.
All right, guys, it looks like we got randomly 14 people in the chat. So
yo, smash the like button.
Smash the like button. That means more people will see.
It's raining here, so sorry if it cuts out.
Yeah, if our internet just shuts off, it's because we're in the Himalayas and it's
just
rainy
started
season.
raining, yeah.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Who is it?
Thank you, guys. People are leaving us comments. Aw, thanks, guys. I am in full support of you. Thank you, brother.
I'm in full support of you. Hearts. Oh, that's cute.
New here. Hey, welcome, Farmer. Is that Farmer Izza? Farmer Izza?
Okay, what's going on in here?
Hey, what's going on? We're just trying to get some heads into the chat. We got 23 people. If you guys can just take a second to smash the like button, we'll get a bunch of people in here and we can all discuss this craziness.
We're having a little snack.
Hey, Brooke, nice to meet you.
Giving a like. All right.
My name is Brooke. Nice to meet you, Brooke.
Hi.
And thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey,
Hi, good to see you already smashed it.
From India. That's awesome. Yeah, well, we're in India. We're in northeast India at the moment. We're in the Himalayas. So yeah, I figured maybe we'd all have like a live stream tonight and we could just talk about this craziness because this is a kind of a historic moment. This is pretty nuts, regardless of what you feel about Donald Trump, you know? I mean, they just tried to whack out like a former U.S. president, so I figured what would be a better topic for us to all discuss tonight. Hey, what's going on, brother? From Kenya, England, and Spain. Right on. Yeah, can I get a shout out? I just like the stream. That's Gigan Ha69. Thank you for liking the stream, Gigan Ha69. Joe Biden 2024. Hey, whatever works for you, man. I'm not particularly a fan of either one of them, to be totally honest with you. but they just turned this dude into a martyr, bro. Like, so I feel bad for that. You know, if you want Biden, bro, like, I don't know how anybody can actually legitimately like Joe Biden. That's the part that I don't really understand. Kamala 2024. Yikes. That is not an America I would want to live in.
Kamala.
Whoa.
Buddha Judge.
Yeah.
2024.
Buddha Judge 2024. Dylan Mulvaney 2024. Fuck. Joe Biden is insanely charismatic. You know, whenever he's awake, I guess. Oh man, guys, if you guys are just joining the chat, smash the like button. Let's all have a discussion. This is a crazy time. Do you support communism or democracy in your worldview? I am not a fan of communism. I am a very big fan of democracy. I am very much a capitalist, but I do believe that we should regulate some of the more extreme sides of capitalism. Like, you know, I'm very anti-monopoly, but I do definitely think that communism is not the way. I've lived in a lot of communist countries, guys. It's not what these fucking academics are telling these kids in the universities. They just end up becoming like the same as any other corrupt country, except for there's only one party. So it just ends up becoming a big gang. And it's not like the communist countries, like, as if the people in the party don't, like, send their kids to school in the West, or, you know, own real estate in places like Australia, America, drive expensive imported German cars. You know, it's bullshit. It's just like any other ideology, you know, anything else that's utopian, it's kind of nonsense. Thank you for liking and subbing, Smeggy McGee. That's a great name. Your views on Palestine. Oh, to be honest, I don't like what's going on over there, and I don't think I ever have. But I can also understand from both sides why this is happening, and I don't know how there could be an end in sight to it. But I mean, anytime human life is being lost, it's tragic. But I just don't see any way for it to be resolved. I hope that answers your question. I just, you know, I don't really know how they're going to resolve that problem. I mean, I'm like a guy who helps people move to fucking Southeast Asia and find teaching jobs or open up companies. Like, I'm not a political science guy or a philosopher, so I don't know if I have like the answer on how to resolve the Palestinian conflict. Sorry, homie. But I do feel great sympathy for any loss of life, and yeah, I just don't know how that's going to end. You know, it's quite sad because it's one of the most ancient places in the world. Hello, Christos T. Nice to meet you. Guys, if you're in the chat, just take a second to smash the like button. It'll help us gain, you know, some more exposure. More people will see the chat. We can all have a discussion.
I'm just sharing it now.
Yo, Tuk is Wag G. Bro, this PV guy is fucking great.
It's there, Dad.
I love him. Liked and subbed. Thank you. That's nice of you. I appreciate that. Guys, if you're in the chat, just take a second to smash the like button. So yeah, this is a crazy time in history. Like, what do you guys think happened? Do you think this was an inside thing? You think it's like the deep state trying to whack them out? Or, you know, tell me in the comments, because I don't really know. I don't, you know, I'm going to reserve judgment, but there are some things that are kind of fishy. Like this is a small town that's happened, and like, why was there not people looking at the roofs of these surrounding areas? Like these, like, I don't know what he was on top of, like some kind of maybe like a barn shed or something, but like, how did this even happen? Hey from Serbia, nice to meet you, Sava S. PV, yes, definitely lizard people, PV. That's 100%. You know, Bill Gates takes off his skin suit, you know, probably just morphed into this kid that did the shooting. Fishy, yes. Lizard people, yes. Yeah, for sure. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's fishy? I think it's a bit fishy. Don't know where I'm going next. Right on. Hey, John Cunningham. Nice to meet you. Yeah, lizard people, bro. I agree. Yeah, what an odd turn of events. So now we got some people in the chat. So I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this whole thing? Because, like I said, I'm going to reserve, you know, what I think of it until I get more information, because right now there's just not that much information, but there's some sketchy details coming out. Like, they're saying this kid was, he was a Second Amendment conservative, and he was wearing like a t-shirt from like a conservative YouTube channel, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because Why in the hell would somebody who's a Second Amendment guy want to whack out Trump? Like, he's pro Second Amendment. Like, you know, I don't really understand. And also another thing that was kind of weird is like he didn't have much of a social media presence, they're saying. And he was a 20-year-old kid. Like, that's also a little bit weird. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Let me read some of these comments and see what you guys are saying. Because I want to know what you guys think. I actually, like I said, I haven't really made an opinion on this yet. The artists are here from Macedonia. We are friends with the former Secret Service, and he is way too pro to miss the next door building. Rock on, Jay. Hey, thanks, bro. I appreciate you. And yeah, that, I don't know, man. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it certainly does seem like something's up. I mean, look, they try to put the dude in jail. You know, and the thing is funny is, like, I'm not even really, like, a big Trump supporter. Like, if you know, dollars to donuts, I would probably choose RFK if I could choose. But I see that clearly there's people within the deep state that don't want this guy to be the president. And that does make me sort of like him more. You know, I think they've done a lot to try to discredit the guy, compare him to being a Nazi. And I don't think that does anybody any good, you know. I think there's things you could criticize Trump about, and I think there's things that you could criticize any of these politicians about. But to call a guy Hitler, I think was, you know, that was always kind of like out of line and didn't really make sense. And then they tried the Russiagate thing, and that turned out to be bullshit. And then they've tried to have this fucking trial in New York, and now they're trying to whack the guy. I mean, all this is doing is making me think that he's legit, you know? Like, obviously they're afraid of him, so I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I can't say that, bro. John Cunningham, come on. I can't say that, bro. That's crazy. I can't read that comment. I mean, listen, bro, I don't know. I know I grew up with a lot of Jewish people, bro. Like, I don't think it's like some Zionist conspiracy theory that runs the world, bro. I think it's just places like BlackRock, Vanguard, you know, State Street, these giant capital firms, you know, that meet up in like Davos in Switzerland, and, you know, people like fucking Klaus Schwab. And I think these are the people who are really like pulling the strings in the world. Let's see. PB, he wasn't on the building until the middle of the speech. He got a big ass ladder and climbed it out of sight and bear crawled to the roof. Yeah, I had heard that too. But I mean, wouldn't you think that you would have eyes on all the higher points? I mean, like I said, I don't know. I saw an interview with a guy who had red hair, some just civilian, and he was saying that he had seen the guy bear crawling up there, and he was trying to tell the cops and the Secret Service, and nobody was listening to him. So I don't know what that's about, but yeah, it was just a random dude that they interviewed on one of these channels. Right now, it's kind of hard. I'm just piecing together whatever information I can get. So if you guys have like more information, definitely let me know. One of the guys said, "And Kit, I'm from India. You like Indian food? I'm from India. You like Indian food?" Yes, I like Indian food a lot. I really like India's interpretation of Chinese food, like Manchurian sauce and like chili paneer. Like, I really, really like that stuff. It's very interesting, especially now that I'm up in the Himalayas, to see kind of the Indo-Chinese, you know, how the food sort of blends. And there's really, really good momos up here, really, really good Tibetan food. I'm in Gangtok in Sikkim at the moment. Some friends of mine, they own a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club. Well, they actually own an MMA club, and they brought me out here to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, training for around 11 years. So I met the guy who owns the club in Bangkok, and his family is wild connected out here. So he arranged for me to have what's called an inline permit. It allows me to be in Sikkim, because right now I'm only 56 kilometers from the China border. Tibet is only like 56K from here. We're at 1,650 meter elevation. So I'm way up in the Himalayas while I'm finding out about all this craziness. Let's see. Okay, let's see. He wasn't there long. Oh, okay, I see. I'm from the sea. Do you like seafood? I'm a lizard person. PV. Oh, you're great. You're like a man or woman of my own. I don't know, mindset, I guess, because you got me dying over here. All right, guys, tell me what you guys think happened. Do you think this was like an inside thing? Do you think this was like a setup? Do you think this is like something from like the CIA trying to take him out, or the Democratic Party's got their hands on this? I mean, it seems like the Clintons try to have people whacked out all the time. So apparently, you know, like there's all kinds of people who disappear around them. It wouldn't entirely surprise me, you know. But again, like I'm fucking I, right? I'm just some guy up in the Himalayas who helps expats relocate to developing countries. I don't know nothing, but I'm curious what you guys think. What do you guys think was possible? Like just and go feel free to give me wild-eyed conspiracy theories. I mean, like so far it seems like the consensus from PV is that it's the lizard people. I guess I could see that. I can see why you would think that. Let's see, Trump will gain sympathy vote for sure. Oh yeah, no, and kid, I think so too. I think they martyred him. I think he's like the Kennedy. He's like the Kennedy of our time now, which I'm not entirely sure he's deserving of. But you know, hey, listen, I still prefer him to Biden. I prefer him just on things like the border, because you know what has happened under the Biden administration is horrendous. Like the country no longer has a border. You've got violent criminals entering the country, tons and tons of fentanyl, all of which are coming, you know, precursors are coming from places like China. You know, the U.S. border is wide open for Lord knows who else they will let in, you know. I mean, terrorists, criminals. You hear, you know, I was listening to Weinstein, the guy who's been on Joe Rogan's podcast quite often, and he was talking about how like he went down to Panama and he saw how there's like two separate migrations going on. One of them is like your standard migration, like people coming over looking for like employment and things like that. And then there was this other migration of all military age Chinese that were staying at like higher end camps and like were very cagey about talking to him. And like, so, I mean, they're just like, they need to close that border yesterday. That situation is completely crazy. Also, all the identity politics and the woke bullshit and the DEI bullshit and the weird like degeneracy with the sex changes for kids, and you know, they're just trying to drive a wedge between people with this like hyper identity politics stuff. And I don't know. I don't think Trump will be a unifying president, but I do think at least he would be good on the border. He'd probably be good on the economy, and we would look like less of a joke to the world because, you know, Biden is literally like, you know, having narcolepsy while he's standing up at the podium. I mean, it just makes us look like we're a puppet dictatorship, basically, you know? And you've got this clown who's the face to the world. He was only in office for like, you know, very short time before you know, him and his crackhead son got the Ukraine war going. So now, you know, I don't think Trump necessarily is like some angel, but like if this is the alternative, then of course I would prefer Trump. But, you know, I would definitely, like in an ideal world, I think I would prefer Robert Kennedy because I think he's better on big pharma. You know, he's just the kind of character who I think could bring some kind of unity to the country, because he is kind of left on some ideas and right on other ideas, and I think that is more reflective of the average American. You know, I think most Americans are not as polarized as people like would believe they are based on the media. I think, you know, most people are kind of like me. You know, there's some things that we're maybe kind of liberal on and some things that we're not. And, you know, I think that probably is more reflective of the majority of the country. And a lot of the rest, you know, the stuff that you hear, the divisive stuff, I think this is on purpose to just drive wedges between people. They held one of your comments for review. Let me see. What did you guys say? Of course, my audience, they're going to hold it for review. Let's see. PV. Oh, man. Because you wrote the word ass, they held her for review. Jesus Christ. This is what I mean. We need somebody who's going to come in here and just put the smackdown on these social media companies. Like, again, I don't know if Trump is the guy. I hope Trump is the guy because probably he's going to be the next president. But I don't know if he is or he isn't. Like I said, in an ideal world, I would think that out of whatever amount of Americans, I think there's 300 million of us, that we'd be able to do better than these two guys. But, you know, like I do got to admit, like if they're trying to take him out this badly, then, you know, maybe he really is the guy. Maybe he's the guy for the time, right? All right, so would I vote for Kamala? Yikes. Yikes. PB. I don't think I would vote for Kamala. Sorry, homie. I'm just talking shit. Yeah, no, I know, man, I know. But I can't say that, bro. Like what you said, I can't say. And also, I don't necessarily agree with. I grew up in New York City, bro. My godfather's Jewish, you know. I got, you know, a lot of Jewish people I grew up with, and I don't feel like, you know, any animosity towards them. I know that obviously there's a difference between like the state of Israel and regular Jewish people, just like there is between the U.S. government and Americans or any country you visit, right? So, you know, I try not to get into these ideas. I think it's all about money personally. I don't think religion or race or any of this stuff, these are just the tools they use to divide us. I think primarily these things are about money and power and consolidating power and trying to set policy, this type of stuff. All right, let's see. The unfriendly stoic. Joe Biden looks like he's having a hard time to remember what he had for breakfast. Oh yeah, dog. Like, yeah, all bad. Anyway, shout out to unfriendly stoic, friend of mine from Queens, fellow New Yorker like myself. Like again, guys, in a sane world, I would be on the left, right? Like I'm more or less cool with gay people. I'm pro gay marriage, pro cannabis legalization. I want to stop wars. I want to see whatever is going to improve the working class of my country's life. Better standards, possibly a single-payer healthcare system, all these things. But I can't get down with the insane identity politics, the erasure of history, the kind of groomer style things that are happening in the schools and in what is it, drag queen story hour and this kind of crazy shit and this DEI stuff and this crazy stuff coming out of the universities. I can't get down with any of it because a lot of the problem with what these people try to perpetuate is that they don't really understand nuance. They learn these things in like an academic sense. They go to these fancy universities, but most of these kids who have these kind of like woke, identity politics ideas, they don't really know what it's like to live in a communist country or to live in a developing country or to do business in places like Asia. Like, I've been out in Southeast Asia. I was out there for probably a total of right around 8 years between all the countries that I've lived in. I've been an expat for probably around 11 years or so, 3 of which were in New Zealand, and then 8 in various different countries in Southeast Asia, Vietnam being the longest of those countries. And now I'm in South Asia. I've spent time in the Balkans. So I haven't seen everything, but I've seen some things, and it's changed my perspective a lot. I am quite conservative on things like illegal immigration because there's no other countries in the world that would tolerate this. And I also kind of take personal offense to these people who kind of say, oh, the West is racist, or, we're so terrible. We're the only place in the world that takes the people in and allows them equal rights, gives them the right to own property, the right to naturalize. When people say, oh, America's a racist country, it's like, man, you really have never been anywhere. America's like the least racist country. Maybe not in the world. Like, I'm sure there's like some small Scandinavian countries that on some metric could be considered less racist. But I grew up in New York City where literally every one of my friends was from a different ethnic background. And we were all New Yorkers. And, if you come into America and you come in through the front door, you naturalize, you'll be given the right to vote, the right to own property. You can open up a business and you don't need to have local partners. Guys, if you come to a lot of these Asian countries, you're not local, you'll never be local, you'll never have the rights of a local, you'll never be able to, potentially own property or land. Well, there is ways. Like, this is what I do. I help people figure out the ways to do it. Like, sometimes you have to open up a company and then the local company owns the land. But in the United States, it doesn't matter your ethnic background. You can own land, you can own property, you're going to be given equal rights, you can vote, you can become part of the society. The thing with people, the liberal people in America, is that they don't really understand. I think they're well-intentioned. I think they like, oh, we want to help people, but they don't understand that there's like not many places in the world that are like that. Like, for example, if you were a refugee and a situation was turned and you were going to some countries in, the developing world, would you be treated with the same kindness that you think that these people should be treated with? And also, are all these people fleeing wars that are coming into the U.S.? The majority of them are economic refugees. A lot of them are not, fleeing wars or conflicts. And, we do actually have like a proper refugee system where people can just go to a land border and they can, apply for asylum at the land border, but instead they're opting to enter the country illegally. So I'm very conservative on things like that. I feel like we don't need to have the world's unskilled labor. I think America should be an open country that allows immigration, but we should get quality immigrants who can contribute to the economy financially. EB5, that's why we have these schemes, right? We don't need laborers. We need to like train up our own people and give them the skills, We don't need engineers from Asia. We need people in our country to be trained up to be engineers. And I don't know if Trump's really like going to be an America First guy or not. Like, I mean, he did some really good things around tariffs with China, and like he did make efforts to try to bring money back to the U.S. But what is good is that the messaging of putting America first is something that I think is a good thing, and I think that is something that we need to start thinking more about. And we do need to stop taking all the trash from the world. And I got to tell you, I do think it is the world's trash because, you know, if you're a doctor or an engineer, you're not going to come across the border illegally. You're going to enter the country on a proper visa. You know what I mean? And these are the people who we should be taking into our countries. Like, now, I do have sympathy for people who are coming from a country where maybe America started a war or something like that. But a lot of these people are not coming from those places. They're coming for jobs. They're just coming to work. So I am fairly conservative on the border. I'm very liberal on things like cannabis, gay marriage, you know, very live and let live. I don't care what you do in your bedroom, you know. I guess you could say I'm a bit on the left on things like healthcare, just because, you know, what we've seen with the monopolization of medications and these cartels, and what we've seen over, you know, the last couple of years with that whole event that if I bring up, I'll probably get my whole channel taken down. But like, yeah, like, there needs to be massive overhaul of our regulatory bodies, and these shouldn't be bipartisan issues. This shouldn't be left-right issues. Anyway, let me see the comments. PV, I love you, bro. You are a funny person. Maybe girl. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. PV is not exactly clear your gender. I shouldn't misgender you. All right, Hollywood uncle, big uncle is in the house. Yo, I'm up in the Himalayas sipping on green tea. All right, so. Well, a lot of countries, well, a lot of the people that are, sorry bro, look, my phone has like this big thing, so it's a little hard to read this. A lot of the people that are going into the country are people from prisons in Venezuela. Yes, bro. They're sending them, yeah, okay. Oh, and Ranjith, I'm not sure if I said your name correctly, but hello, brother, and thank you. Thank you for watching the Indian vlogs. I love India. I'm actually going to go to Vietnam for a minute in September, but then I'm going to come back to India on a business visa, and I'm going to get real thick out here, so look for that, please. PV, yeah, you are definitely like my favorite guy in the chat right now, although Hollywood is like my cousin uncle, you know. So anyway, Hollywood, they did the same thing with Castro back in the day when they dumped all the criminals from the jails into Miami. This is not the first time. I believe they would do that. I do. You know, I don't know to me that it even matters. I just think that the border needs to be closed. It doesn't, you know, like, you need to come into the country legally. And, you know, this is just fueling cartels. It's creating an insane humanitarian crisis. I don't think it's good for the migrants. It's certainly not good for the country. But I do kind of like that these liberals in these cities, and guys, I lived in liberal cities. I grew up in New York City. I lived in San Francisco for a number of years. And I will tell you one thing I'm very happy about, that these conservative border states like Texas are shipping these fucks right to them, because they should have to see the problem. Like when I lived in San Francisco, I first moved out there in like 2003. I had like a really cool like little studio apartment for my first time kind of like getting out of New York. It was very exciting. You know, I lived on the border of the Tenderloin and Nob Hill. And the Tenderloin is Skid Row, and even then it was Skid Row. It was a total shithole. Somebody got like shot outside of my house one day when I was coming back from the gym. TL in San Francisco has always been a fucking dump. There's always been open air drug markets. There's always been assholes leaving their fucking needles everywhere. But what I noticed was over the years, as more and more of those kind of tech people and like people from outside of San Francisco had started to move into the city, like similar to what happened in New York with gentrification, you know, you started to get people who just had no attachment to the city and they didn't give a fuck. And like those were the kind of people that were living in the city center. And then the really rich liberals, they lived up in the hills. So they kind of always had this attitude where it's like, oh, okay, well, let's put a methadone clinic, you know, because people need to have, you know, access to, you know, getting off of heroin or whatever. But let's put it next to your house in the working class neighborhood, not into our house up on the hill. And that's always been San Francisco. So I'm kind of glad to see that place collapse. I got to tell you, I have some great friends from San Francisco because I did live there for a long time. I was heavily involved in martial arts community, great boxing, great jiu-jitsu out there, great Muay Thai. You know, it was a pretty iconic city, but I always overall really never liked California that much. I liked it because it was wild and I could do whatever the fuck I want. When I was younger, I was more crazy. I lived up in Seattle. I really never liked most of the people up there. There's some cool people, but a lot of really fake, passive-aggressive, like kind of cowardly, spineless people. So I'm glad that the conservative states just took the migration problem and made these people deal with it, because for so long, these are the type of people who will be like I said earlier, oh, let's build a methadone clinic, but let's put it next to your house. You know, and that's what they do, because for those of you who don't know, the Tenderloin in San Francisco, that's the area that has the most children in all of San Francisco. It's primarily a lower working class, poor area, lots of immigrants living in these kind of shitty rooming houses that are converted into like studio apartments. Kind of like what I lived in when I first moved out there. But for me, it was exciting because I was young and going to California, you know. But you know, those areas are pretty fucking poor, and you know, that's where there's like kids, you know, playing in the parks where people leave needles. And you know, I had helped this organization called the Guardian Angels when I was out there. I taught them some boxing at the time, and when I was kickboxing, I just did some pro bono training for them and tried to show them a little bit of like self-defense and stuff, because these guys were really nice. What they were doing was walking around the Tenderloin and like picking up needles in parks that these fucking crackheads would leave everywhere. You know, so the TL to me has never been a good place, but now it sounds like it's just completely out of control. So I mean, like, I'm not like a big law and order guy. Like, I do like that, like, limited government in my life and like this type of stuff, but you really can't have chaos. You just can't have total chaos. You can't have people flash mob robbing places. You know, this is just not how a society functions. Like, you know, I'm also not so quick to say that the US is over, because this is like kind of a repeat of the 70s. You know, in the 70s, inflation was even worse. Cities in America were even worse. You know, these things kind of do go in cycles. But what's more scary is that this is really the first time where we've openly had people within our government doing things that are just blatantly anti-democratic and not even trying to like cloak or hide it, right? Like, you know, we literally have a president who's using the power of the Justice Department against his political opponent. And even if you don't like Donald Trump, I mean, can you not see why that's a problem? Like, you know, in a free society where we're supposed to have law and order. Let's see what some of these comments are saying, guys. For Hollywood, well, a lot of people, no, we did that. The whole world, the flash mob at the 70s, yeah. We had a large generation of hard workers and the world's manufacturer. I would say that's more pre-70s. I would say the 70s was kind of the beginning of the decline, you know, and then into the 80s, you know, that's where really they destroyed the labor unions, and then into the 90s with NAFTA. You know, they just kind of eviscerated the New Deal and wiped out the middle class, and now we're just kind of seeing the end results of that. You know, there's a good book you guys could read. It's called Listen Liberal. It's a pretty good book, actually, by a guy called Thomas Frank, and he does a pretty good job of explaining how the Democratic Party turned its back on the working class, and like why, and the ideology behind it, and like the Clintons and the new economy. It's a good read if you guys have a chance, and it'll kind of help you understand how we got where we are in a lot of ways. And again, like I said, in a sane world, I would be on the left, but like, you know, with this identity politics and trying to erase history and trying to divide everybody along racial lines, and you know, they do a lot of things that just change history. And guys, history is complicated, it's nuanced. I mean, if you look at the United States, for example, anybody who says the US is an inherently racist country is out of their fucking mind. Like, you literally had a civil war that ripped the country in half and had, you know, I don't even know how many lives lost for the pursuit of ending slavery. You know, like, these kids they don't learn about things like burning Kansas or John Brown, or, you know, how many of the immigrants that fought in the Civil War were just off the boat Irish coming over from the famine, literally starving, having guns shoved into their arms and saying, you're going to Tennessee, Patty. You know, people have had a vision for a country that, you know, did, you know, work as a multicultural society. But actually, I've come to think now more and more that multiculturalism doesn't really work. I think we can have a multi-ethnic society, but I don't think we can have a multicultural society. I think there still needs to be some sort of unifying culture. Now, I'm not saying people can't have their culture. I think that's kind of also what makes America special, but I think there should be this idea of being American, or being European, or like wherever, you know, these countries are allowing people into their society. People should make an effort to become part of that society and to contribute to that society. So I guess I should rephrase when I say multicultural. I think we should have we can have a multi-ethnic society, but we should still have unifying culture. And I think you see that a lot in a lot of countries, like even here in India, you know. Now, this is a completely multicultural, multi-ethnic society, but they do share certain values that are common. And I think that is what kind of makes a place like this work, you know. And I think that's also what makes a place like the U.S. or Western Europe, you know, makes them quite unique. Anyway, let's see what some of these comments are saying. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think happened with this? Tell me what your guys' opinion. I don't care if it's a crazy conspiracy theory. I'm very curious. All right, Hollywood, fakery, fake blood, fake gun, fake sounds, like a movie. Fake attempt would secure a lot of new votes. Oh, that's interesting. We don't have those advantages today. No, we don't. What about multi-gender? I'm sorry, I only believe in 2 genders, homie. I do think that you can be however you want to be. Like, I like tomboy girls. Like, I think you can be, you know, outside of, you know, social and gender norms, but you're still like either a man or a woman. You know, like the thing that I thought was funny is a meme where they show like a skeleton next to a person who's like, oh, I'm non-binary or something, and then like later on they show a skeleton. They're like 100 years later, and the archaeologist is like female, age, da da da. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, we are human beings, and human beings do exist in a binary of genders. So the idea that there's more than one is a little bit silly. Like, I do know that there's people who are like intersexed and stuff, but this is like a very small fragment of the world, right? Like, this is like a fractional amount of people that are afflicted with this kind of defects, where they're born to having like both sex organs. And I know that these gender ideology people try to use that as like their argument for this insanity, but really, to me, actually, all this gender ideology stuff is very, like, to me, I think it's actually very like homophobic and very like enforcing of gender roles. So it's like, if a little boy is like feminine, then he must need to have a sex change and take all these drugs and be, you know, and let's be honest, guys, how much money are they getting on this? Surgeries, pills, what do drugs cost in the US, places like the US, you know? How much money are they getting on these surgeries? And then this person's a customer for life, because they are definitely going to be involved in some kind of medical treatment for the rest of their life to maintain this, right? So instead of just letting this kid grow up, and maybe they just grow up to be gay, or maybe they grow up to be straight and just somewhat feminine, like, who says that you need to be something to be a man or to be a woman these days, right? I thought this is what we were trying to get away from, but this gender ideology stuff is almost like the opposite. It's like, oh, you're a little girl who doesn't like that she's going through puberty, which is like totally normal for a little girl. Like, I don't think I've met many girls that are like, oh yeah, puberty was awesome, you know? Like, I think it's like totally normal, but then instead they're just being put on this conveyor belt to like surgeries and pills and drugs. It's absolutely mental what they're doing to these children, and I consider it to be like Nazi experimentation. Like, in my opinion, I think these people go down the same as the Nazi scientists. You know, they're doing Frankenstein experiments. They're taking advantage of people who are clearly having mental health issues, and they're putting them onto this pipeline, this ideology that just results in surgeries and dependence on medication and dependence on the big pharma and dependence on, you know, these doctors who are definitely banking out on this. But what's so crazy to me is like, it's a supposedly like tolerant left. Like, they're not tolerant of like slight deviation from gender norms, you know, because if you're like slightly like feminine male or slightly masculine female, like, to them, you're born in the wrong body. Whereas, I mean, the way I see it is, I don't think anybody's born in the wrong body, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way to be a man or a woman. I think you just need to be happy with whatever you have in your life, because life is very short. And you need to be proud of who you are and embrace it, and you don't need to change anything. You can live how you want to live, and you can, you know, if you're in a Western country, you can dress how you want to dress, you can date who you want to date. I mean, you know, and again, they try to say how homophobic America is, or how homophobic, you know, people who are like kind of slightly on the right are, but it's like, show me other countries in the world that are as tolerant of this kind of thing. Like, how is a sexual minority treated in Saudi Arabia? How is a sexual minority treated in like East Africa? Like, you know, they're treated far better in places like the U.S. And then yet we're supposed to sit here and be told that we're like, you know, we're homophobic and we're transphobic and whatever else, right? So I think it's people who just have never been anywhere. They don't really understand that the rest of the world is like far different than what they imagine it to be, and that most likely the sympathy that they're giving to people, especially people who are coming into the country illegally, would not be returned to them if the tables returned. In fact, they would probably enslave you, because in lots of parts of Africa, slavery still exists, especially in the Sahara region and North Africa. Still has slave markets. Slavery still exists in Southeast Asia. There's tons of human trafficking. So it's not like, the rest of the world is like this utopia. And it's like, oh, the West is this pure evil place. Now, I'm not saying the West is perfect. Personally, I don't want to live there. There's a lot of things in the culture I'm just not into. For me, I've been able to have a better life living overseas. This is my journey, my path. If you resonate with that, then, that's great. That's why we connect. But that doesn't mean that I think that my country is the worst country in the world, because that's just a silly thing to say. And these people who are so anti-American, it's just, I feel like they've just actually never been anywhere. And like, even if they have been somewhere, it's like as a tourist, they've never really like lived in a developing country, gotten to know the mindset, done business. Like, it's one of the things that made me much more conservative, was just kind of seeing how the rest of the world views things like migration and borders and minorities. And like, to give you guys an example, if you're a minority in a lot of Southeast Asia, you may not even be allowed to have an ID card. Your kids won't be able to go to school. You may not be able to access health care. Whereas in the West, we literally will let any minority have complete equal rights, and we'll pass laws that will protect them. Not to say like society's perfect, like any society has like people that are going to be like ignorant, but like in terms of like what we've done with law, there's like very few places on earth that are like that. So I think a lot of the criticism that the US gets about that is propaganda and completely unwarranted, and really just designed to divide people. Because I grew up in New York City, and I certainly didn't have any of the privilege over the black kids or Hispanic kids I grew up with, because I was up in mad group homes, and I grew up with a ton of kids from the South Bronx, from all over New York City, and most of my friends during my early childhood were Hispanic or black, because I was always up in the group homes. And then a lot of our counselors were either black dudes from the Bronx. Like, one of my earliest childhood memories was a big fat black dude named Kevin, who taught me about Japanese animation and Kung Fu movies when I was like 12, 13 at Andrews Children's Home up in Yonkers. And then I had another dude who was named Clint, who passed away, also a black dude, who was like really like the closest thing to like a big brother, like mentor that I had. And this dude was super cool. He was like in his like late 20s, maybe early 30s, and he was still playing with action figures, and he would take us out comic book shopping. So like for me, I never saw really race as much of a thing, because I grew up with a lot of different races. And then like even in my own community, my schools, my best friend from childhood was Chinese. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm Italian and Irish. So like, we're a very diverse country. And I think like it was better in like the 70s, when we were doing like TV shows and comedies where people were making fun of each other's differences, and we could laugh at each other. And I think that's what was bridging gaps. But now this, like, everybody's getting butthurt, everybody's offended by everything. This is just sowing division, and I think it's just bad for the country in general. All right, let's see. Agree about the gender surgeries. Yeah, exactly, bro. I agree too. It's a horror show what they're doing, and the fact that they're starting to give these kids puberty blockers and double mastectomies for fucking teenage girls. I hope that one day there's trials for these animals. I really do, because this is a true crime. I was born in the wrong species. Actually, I like to think of myself a little bit as transracial, because when I look at myself in the mirror, I like to imagine that I'm like Shaquille O'Neal, like I'm like whatever, 7 foot tall, and hung like a donkey. Let's see. The U.S. has caused a ton of problems, though. Oh, no question. Yeah, no question. But there's no countries that are fucking perfect, bro. Like, America's fucked. Like, yeah, but like, there's levels to this shit, Like, I helped expats move to Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, and you gotta understand, as an expat, it's different. You got U.S. currency, you got U.S. passport. It's different for you. For a local person, when you talk to local people, their perspective is entirely different, and I can sympathize with that, because they're not making USD. They're living in the society, and they see it in a much more firsthand way than I do, or than you do as an expat, right? So there's definitely levels to it. The U.S. is still fucked. I still think there's tons of problems. I personally don't want to live there, but I also don't think it's smart to go and be like, it's the worst country ever, because that's also silly. Like, I would much rather live in the United States than China. You know what I mean? Or North Korea. or like any of these like really authoritarian dictatorships.
I shared it around.
Me shared around the live stream.
Where are you up to?
Yo, bro, hope you are well. Dave Away, thank you, man. Thank you for commenting. Smash the like button, guys.
Live from Vienna. Are you going to vote?
Yeah, probably. We can vote at the U.S. consulate as expats. I might be in for Trump now. I mean, because, you know, I think they pretty much sealed the deal. I mean, I just feel like at this point the Democratic Party needs to be stopped. Like, they don't know what the deal is with this shooter yet. But it doesn't matter. Between Russiagate, all the wars these clowns started, you know, the gender identity stuff, the divisiveness, you know, trying to drive wedges between people in the society, the way they lie about like criminal things, the way they don't show it if they don't show like violent crime if it doesn't suit their narrative. Like it's too dangerous. It's becoming too anti-democratic. And I don't think Trump's going to save the day, but clearly, if they want to stop him this bad, then maybe at least he'll ruffle some feathers. So I'm pretty much in for Trump this time. I would have liked a Bobby Kennedy, but the media has pretty much silenced him. It's to me, there's no great choice in this, but anything is better than the Democratic Party. And like, if they try to pass that snake oil salesman Gavin Newsom, this clown who took the most beautiful state in America, California, and turned it into a hole, a total dump, a toilet bowl, you know. So they try to pass this guy off. I mean, and I think that's what they're going to do if they get rid of Sleepy Joe, you know.
We will not revisit the states unless Trump is in and secure. Albania and Macedonia are working for us. Vote Trump. Gotta roll. Thanks again.
Thanks again, brother. Thank you for commenting. And I hope you're enjoying Macedonia. I love Macedonia. I had fun out there. Great food, really beautiful. Struga's a beautiful place. Also, so is Ohrid. Ohrid is really cool. And Skopje is a cool city. Albania, you know, I love Albania. I had fun out there. Albania is a great place. I was in Tirana and I got to drive around the south of the country and a bit of the north.
Check out the merch, guys.
Check out the merch, guys. We're contracting a graphic designer to make more sharp images for our brand, so look for that. Yeah, it's just a crazy situation. I'm not a big fan of Trump. I'm not a big fan of any of these guys, but to be honest, if they want him dead this bad, then he must be the guy, you know, because clearly people within the deep state are afraid of him and they're afraid of him having power. So to me, that's a good sign of somebody who I would want to have power. Anyway, if you guys are in the group, smash the like button. I'm not a big fan of the hardline conservative identity politics stuff. Like I said, in a sane world, I would be considered kind of on the left, but it's just gone too far with the identity politics. And you know, another thing, guys, like I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to people like Rogan. I listen to a lot of people like Brett Weinstein, and like, you know, just to get these different perspectives, these college professors who've been ran out of universities by the woke mobs, and like, this is just not how you want to have a society, you know. You know, you want to have a society where people can like have different ideas, and the best idea rises to the top, and you know, maybe you're a little bit left wing on some things, and maybe you're a little bit right wing on other things, and I think that's just much more in line with like what human beings actually are, because we're these complicated things, you know, we're a complicated species, like, you know, and I think that's what's being lost in all this. There's a lot of nuance in the world. Like, the world is an insanely complex place, and it's all being like riddled down into kind of like stupid, simple explanations of like good guy, bad guy, and I think that's going to really, really set us back. You know, there is no good guys and bad guys. There's just competing interests. Anyway, guys, if you're in the chat, I want to know what you think. Tell me what you think. What do you think happened here? Like, I want to hear all your conspiracy theories. What do you guys think this was like the Democrats trying to take him out? You think this was somebody in the CIA, the deep state? Like, was this just a literally a random lone nut? One dude alluded that it could have been done on purpose to kind of promote, you know, the candidacy potentially. Although I don't know if I buy that, you know. I just don't, you know, like, he doesn't need to. He's already winning. He's already dominating all the polls, man. They're having Trump rallies in fucking the South Bronx. Like, he's winning over a lot of the younger minorities, black people, Hispanic people. So I don't think it was necessary for him to have like staging in order to win. I think it's like almost a sure thing he's gonna win. He pretty much just has to stay alive, and he was gonna win. But yeah, it does seem staged, doesn't it, Stoic? It's a bit weird. Like you have all this security, but like nobody's watching like these few high points, and it's like it didn't happen in a big city. It happened in like a pretty small place. Like it just seems kind of crazy. Do you like Kamala? No, I don't like Kamala, bro. Like I'm not into like buffoons who just get into their position because of the color of their skin and their gender. You know, I don't have. Yeah, I have no time for this nonsense. Like the identity politics, box checking. You know, like I want people who are qualified. I don't care what race or background they are. You know, if they're good and they have the right ideas for the country, then I support them. But you know, a Harris presidency would be a disaster for the country. Another Democrat, period, would be a disaster for the country. They censor the media. They control the social media, which they also censor. They've started several wars now since they've been in power. You know, there's just, I don't see anything good coming from them. And I also don't think Trump's going to save the day. But I think, relatively speaking, at least he can stem some of the serious, you know, problems that are having in society, some of the serious leaks we have, right? Like the things that are collapsing. I do think he will be better on foreign policy. He'll make the country look stronger. I think he'll be better probably on the economy. You know, he did get through the majority of his presidency without starting a war, so that's also a positive. You know, and I don't know, like I said, in a perfect world, I would rather we have somebody like a Tulsi Gabbard or like a Bobby Kennedy or even like a Rand Paul, you know, like just somebody who is like consistent, you know, Dennis Kucinich, like, you know, one of these consistent independents who are not part of this kind of two-party system. That to me would be a dream, but I just don't think the country's ready for it. And right now, Trump might just be the man for the time. So again, you know, you can't expect perfection. You can't have these purity tests, you know, like I just see what's happening to the country as an existential threat. Like, even if you don't like Donald Trump, like you don't want to have one political party using the power of the government against another political party, because now you're like a developing country. Now it's just a banana republic. And like, you know, the wide open border, the lawlessness, the chaos, the racial division, the skewing the statistics to make it look like there's more racism than there is. You know, there's also no ability, it seems, for people to have nuanced conversations. It's like everyone's either like, well, we either have to get rid of all the police, or we have to like have a military police state where like the cops fucking check you for your papers every 2 feet. Whereas really, like, it's like, why can't we have like common sense political, like, police reform? Why can't we like actually look at the problems and address them? It's because it's not convenient for ideology and for, you know, getting people into office and for, you know, creating shady fucking NGOs that disappear, you know, millions and millions of dollars and to these black holes, these DEI organizations. And you know, it's just, honestly, guys, in my opinion, everything's about money. Everything's about money, and what's not about money is about power and influence. I don't know, but what do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think. Let me check some of these comments. Hollywood. And if it was staged, somebody died, he wouldn't do that? I'm not saying Trump wouldn't do it. I don't know. I mean, when it comes to power, who knows? But I just don't think he would need to. If we're looking at it from a point of interest, I think he was going to win regardless of this happening. Now it's just they sealed the deal. Why would he need to have this done? He, like I said, he was already winning. And why would it be a right winger? Why would it be a gun nut that wants to take out Trump?
It's kind of weird.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. What do you think, Mish?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird.
Come over, talk to them for a bit. I'm just going to go take a leak. Anyway, guys, talk to Mish. Smash the like button. Comment.
Smash the like. Check out the merch. We got t-shirts, mugs, bags. Just having a snack here. Alright, let's see. I belong to the party of common sense. Okay. I don't know. I was kind of shocked. What does your t-shirt look like? You can get a bunch of colors. They have a bunch of colors, and then it just says Reborn Abroad in like a cool font, and inside is New York City. It's pretty cool. Check it out. I think you should be able to see it at the bottom of this video. We got hoodies like this too. Same like this. Reborn Abroad. Alright, well, we've been on about an hour. 55 minutes.
Yeah, I'll stay on for a bit more.
Okay.
I'm enjoying the conversations. We're having some good discussions tonight. I'm gonna have some, I don't know, I think this is called chokli. This is like my favorite fucking food.
Tomato tangy.
It's made with tomatoes and masala.
Indian snack time.
Made out of corn. I had some good ass street food at the Lal Bazaar tonight.
Nuts and berries.
Yeah. I call this an Indian cheese doodle.
Jeff, are you gonna get a t-shirt?
So good. These are made with masala and tomato. They're really good. Miss, I drop one. Can you grab it?
Where? Oh yeah.
What does your t-shirt look like? Just click on where it says shop on the videos.
It's just you can get a bunch of colors though.
Yeah, you can choose hoodies, t-shirts, bags. They have all kinds of shit.
They got mugs.
We got mugs. If you guys are in the chat, smash the like button. These are so good, guys. This is my Indian snack, like my favorite one. Mmm.
I put the stuff in the dryer.
Mad good, yo. I had a crazy dinner tonight because we're up near the Himalayas. So we're eating like momos, bomb soup, like really good food up here. Gangtok, really cool place.
I love Indian food.
Sikkim is 100% organic as a state.
Oh my god. I love
So the food up here, it's illegal to grow food that's not organic in Sikkim. This part of India is really interesting because you need special permission to be here because you're very near to the border of China towards Tibet. And it's a sensitive area, so we had to get special permission to be up here. So I feel quite like special being up here. It's quite an amazing place. And I really love it. I mean, I'm getting a little used to the elevation, but so far it's great. If you guys are in the group, smash the like button. Helps more people see the chat. But yeah, Hollywood, what do you think of all this, bro? Like, what's your opinion on this? Tell me. I want to know in the comments. What do you think went down here? Again, we're all just speculating. None of us know shit. You know, I don't know shit. But I want to know what you guys think could be possible.
When you get back to Vietnam, I'll get one. Cool.
Right on, man. Right on.
Smash the like. Yo, we got 16 likes. That's awesome.
It's not our shirts. It's like we have our brand put on our shirt and then they like ship it to you.
And it's New York in the logo. Reborn Abroad logo.
It's like NYC inside the Reborn Abroad logo. Man, this is good.
So good.
But yeah, Hollywood, I want to know what you think.
Whoa, the pillows fell. So we got some new content coming soon from India. Definitely check it out. And we also have some videos coming up about China. So definitely check those out as well. Coming soon. You showed him the fresh tea, Jen?
Oh yeah, I just got a bunch of
This is the first time we went to the supermarket today, local supermarket.
got a bunch of rose tea with green tea, pretty bomb.
Delicious.
The food up here, the tea, everything is really, really good. It's this place is incredible for food, guys. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching.
It's about an hour.
Live from Vietnam, the guy was arrested. No, they blew the guy's head off. They shot him up on the roof of the building where he was shooting at Trump. And it looks like that's pretty legit that happened.
And that was the guy, for sure.
What's for sure, but yeah, it looks like it. It seems like there's a lot of video footage of him getting shot up. It's just a question of like, now that he's shot, like you can't tell no tales. So like, I don't know. The whole thing's kind of weird. The thing that strikes me as weird is the Bad Bunny. No, I'm talking about the Bad Bunny concert. Oh, I don't know about the Bad Bunny concert. What I don't know. What is that? The guy was arrested? Yeah, I don't know, but crazy. Yeah, but they had the, they have footage of the guy getting shot. But what I thought was weird was there was a guy in the crowd that I saw in one of the news clippings who was saying that he had seen the guy bear crawling on the roof, and that he had tried to tell the cops, and that they were kind of like ignoring him. And it seems really crazy to me. So I'm really curious how this is all going to unfold. I don't know what the end result of all this insanity is going to be, but yeah, if you guys see this live stream later, please leave in the comments what you guys think. Hey, Big Russ, yes, we hit up the supermarket, bro. Actually, today was crazy, bro. I hit up the supermarket, Law Market, and Rainbow, which is like a provision store here in Gangtok. So I've got some
and the bakery
stuff
cow.
and a bakery for some bread. So I can make eggs at home now, and I got everything I need. And but it was hectic, man. Lal Bazaar up here is an intense place, but it was cool. It was good. We made some great content, I believe it was not staged, like you said. It was already winning. No need. Well, I don't think it was staged by him, but I wonder if it was staged by like the deep state or the CIA. Do you think it could be something like that? Russell, I don't know if you heard, man, but they tried to whack out Trump. So I'm trying to see what people think about that and just what they, what their opinions are. And, it's a crazy time to be alive. I do want to remind you guys, if any of you are in the chat, to smash the like button for us. Also remember that one of the reasons why YouTube never shows our videos to people is because I do talk about issues like this, and I do occasionally curse, and I try to be authentic and genuine, and like that's not popular on social media. So, they are not big fans of adults talking.
Fresh orange. Jay, try some.
Yeah,
straight
orange.
from the market, organic.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. What's next after India? So I will be going after India, probably to Saigon. Just need to meet with clients that are arriving, and I need to meet with some of my business partners. I may go to Vung Tau, hang out for like a month or so. There's some people out there who want to see me as well. I'm not sure, I might, but I'm going to most likely try to get a business visa for India and then return to India. And then I may stay in India for a minute. And I have a business partner who's in Goa, so I may go check him out. I'm also working with my buddies up here. Russell, he's one of them. He's in the chat. I'm working with one of my buddies up here to start introducing more jiu-jitsu over India. And I just came from Mysore, India, where I was also teaching Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So now I'm going to kind of form my own brand, and I'm going to call it Ronin Flow Grappling. It's going to be, kind of like my umbrella brand. And then the clubs where I'm creating lineage, where I'm teaching, they can be like under my brand sort of, or connected to my brand. Like it's like a joint, that way we have like a joint affiliation with each other, and we can like kind of have almost like a cooperative relationship, So that's something I'm doing while I'm out here, because graphic designers are much less expensive in India. I'm also looking for a good SEO person. If you guys are from India and you know somebody who's a good SEO person, who's honest and reliable, let me know on the Facebook fan page. Also potentially somebody who's good at driving social media, who can help grow our Facebooks, our Instagrams, improve our brands for a reasonable price. Definitely let me know. So that's kind of the plan. I need to hit Vietnam for a minute. I'll probably come say hello to some people, chill there for a minute, and then come back to India. And then those of you who don't know, Mish and I, come in here.
Come in back? Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be getting our Italian citizenship. So I'm getting mine through my great-grandmother, and she's getting hers through her grandmother.
Yeah, we're going to start a series, so look for that.
We're going to have a series on how we got our Italian citizenship through blood right. We don't have it yet, but I found out now that I'm eligible. We have received my great-grandmother's certificate of non-existence, which means she never naturalized to the States. So
such good news.
I'm an Italian citizen. Now it's just a matter of gathering the birth certificates, apostolization, but
translation as well.
My mom's got a lawyer who she's using, and because she's becoming an Italian citizen, I will become one by default. So at some point we'll need to be in Italy.
Are you going to give up your U.S. passport?
It's on the table. I don't dislike being American. I mean, I think the issue I have would be taxation. Like if my business were to improve and I were to become in a position where I had to be very concerned about taxes, U.S. taxes us everywhere, and I don't see any benefit. I don't get to use their healthcare system. I'm not using their roads. I'm not using their hospitals. but yet I'm expected to pay this tax burden no matter where I am in the world, whereas Italy does not, right? Like, so, like, if I'm not living in Italy after a certain period of time, there's no longer a tax burden to them, right? So, you know, I mean, like, I don't know where I'm going to end up, you know? So would I want to give up my U.S. citizenship? I mean, it's possible. It really just depends. Like, I mean, I think having more passports is always good. It's always good to have more than one. But if it got to a point where I felt like they were really going to go into my pocket, I would definitely consider it. You know? Italian passport is not a bad passport to have. Mish, can I have some more hot water for this tea?
Yeah.
Thanks. I don't know where my cup went. Is it over there? I think it's over there.
Yeah, too.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you're in the chat, I want to know what you think. If you see this video later, I want to know what you think also in the comments. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think happened, you know, because again, we're all just speculating, and like I'm no rocket science, guys. I read a lot of books. I've traveled around the world a bit. I feel like I know a few things, but I don't know everything. And you know, I always consider myself to be a pretty open-minded person, you know. Italy's population is decreasing. It's a major problem. Yep, that's true, but it's not really a major problem for me, because if I want to have a European passport, I feel like if the population is declining, it could be to my benefit that they would want to give me my citizenship through descent much easier. Guys, I have service providers like you wouldn't believe. I have people who can do genealogy. I have people who can go to the communes and find your ancestors' paperwork. I have a list of lawyers, like a huge list of lawyers. So we have everything you would need to do it. So we're going to have a series where we talk about how we got ours, and then we're also going to help other people do it with our own Italian citizenship consulting service through descent. Now, yeah, remember also, bear in mind also that even if Italy's population is declining, the north of Italy is a lot different than the south of Italy. The north of Italy's economy is more like Switzerland or Germany, and the south of Italy is a little bit more like a developing country, but it's still a member of the EU. So I'd be able to live anywhere in the EU, you know, own a business anywhere in the EU. I'd be able to move around the Schengen zone. And even if I decided I wasn't going to live in Europe, an Italian passport gets more favorable visas in Latin America, even in Asia, than a US passport in many countries. Oh man, that's good. I like, I think it's made out of potato. But it's
Indian
like
snacks.
sour cream and chive. This isn't, I don't think, specifically Indian, but it is good. Went shopping today, so we got like some snacks, some things for the house. Peter Zine was talking about that last week. Check out his commentary. Yeah, no question. It's a problem for sure. People in the West need to start having kids, but at the same time, society needs to change a lot. You need to incentivize families. I mean, in Europe, it's not so bad. But in the U.S., man, it's not great. Like, if you're trying to have kids or have a family, I mean, you are really screwed if you don't make a lot of money.
You have no days off.
You know, I think if we were going to talk about a program that would help Americans, it would be like childcare, you know, like having access to childcare.
Yeah.
Like, I think these are the most existential things, like childcare, healthcare.
And having a paid month off, like they do in Europe.
Like every other country in the world,
Yeah,
having
like
a
a
month
month.
vacation, basically, you know? Just some things that Americans
Paid.
don't have
This is
that they don't
paid.
really understand that the rest of the world has, you know? For such a rich country, you would think. But, like, you know, I'm not...
And why should we go bankrupt because of healthcare?
But I'm not going to pretend like I don't understand it from the other perspective. Like, the people in, you know, in places like the U.S., they have no trust in the government. So, like, the idea of creating a healthcare system and then allowing this shady, dishonest criminal government to manage it, like, why would they not turn it into a Ponzi scheme? They've turned everything else into a scam. So I can understand that perception too, and I think that's where a lot of the libertarians make a lot of sense to me also, because, you know, like, yeah, like these ideas are good, like having a single payer healthcare system, having things like daycare, but if you can't even trust the basic institutions of your country, like, how can you implement any of these type of policies if everything is a money grab and everything is a scam? You know? Anyways, I want to thank you guys for coming, hanging out, talking tonight. I'm just bugged out. I can't believe this happened. Absolutely crazy. Totally crazy situation. And I would love to hear what you guys think. So if you're seeing this later and you're not in the stream, please leave it in the comments. Let us know what your opinions are. You know, if you agree with anything I said, let me know. If you disagree with anything I said, let me know. Like I said, you know, in a sane world, I would consider myself on the left. But in this kind of mad identity politics, like, crazy fucking 300 gender, safe space, weirdo shit, like groomer shit, you know, like I can't relate, you know, like it seems like the Democratic Party's hostile to the working class. My family is mostly working class. So, you know, I can't say the Republicans are going to swoop in and save the day, but it certainly does seem like at least the country will be somewhat more under control, and foreign policy will most likely be seen as stronger. So it's just a crazy time, you know. Sometimes in life you don't get to choose like the ideal person, you know. History chooses them, and I guess maybe that's what we have here. It's like, do I believe in God? Why the tattoo? Because I feel like it. I don't, you know, what is it to you? What do I care? Do I need to be saved? How about you save my nuts? You can save them on your chin. You can wear them like while you blow me. You know, do I believe in God? What does that have to do with you, whether I believe in God? Maybe I do. Maybe I do. How do you know if I do or I don't? Fuck you know. Why, because I have tattoos? What a simple-minded like person. See, this is the problem with these types, right? With the fundamentalist Christian types, is you people make assumptions that everybody else in the world wants to hear your bullshit. Now, I'm not anti-Christian. I actually think Christianity and Judeo-Christian society has formulated the most tolerant societies in the world. You know, the West, which comes from Judeo-Christian values, is the most tolerant of minorities, the most open, the most democratic societies in the world, even though at the moment they are in decline. So no, I'm not a Christian, and no, I don't give a shit about your God, okay? But that doesn't mean I don't believe in some sort of higher power or spirituality. I'm more of the mindset that nobody on earth knows. I'm not saying there isn't, I'm not saying there is. But certainly nobody on this rock has a clue what the truth is. And honestly, if you were born in any other country in the world, you would be convinced that God from wherever that you are is the true God. And, I don't have time for that. I live a good life. I take care of my family. I do the things I want to do. I pursue happiness, but I also try to do the right thing by my friends, my community. I help people start their lives over. So I put out good energy, and I try to hopefully return and receive good energy. But you're not going to come here and you're not going to try to recruit me into your cult, homeboy. I'm not interested. Now, that doesn't mean I don't respect Christianity and I don't respect Christians. I like a lot of the values that come from Christianity. If you think about the idea that if you just love the Messiah, then you can be forgiven. I mean, whether or not there's really a Messiah or not, as a way to build a society, that is a nice idea, because it means that anybody who accepts whatever the Lord is in our culture, then you get to be included in our society, right? And I think that's what's opened the way for multiculturalism and tolerance. So I do have respect for some Christian values, but I don't need some ding dong talking shit online. Oh, your tattoo's insecure about yourself. Why are you talking about God? With all problems, God, don't be insecure. God is waiting for you. Ooh, yeah, I bet he's waiting for you in your closet to touch you at night. I'm sure he is. Bro, I got tattoos because I feel like it. I worked in nightclubs for like 15 years. I'm a bouncer. Fuck is it to you? And the fact that you think morality would have something to do with getting tattoos or doing anything like that have to do with morality. I know people who wear button-down shirts, white Protestants, who are the worst pieces of shit in the world. So don't give me that. Most religious people, and I don't mean like mildly religious, like people who are, I'm talking fanatics. Most fanatics you got tons of skeletons in their closets. Maybe you have gay feelings. You go looking around for young male prostitutes or something, and that's why you got to hide so hard behind your religion. If you have a belief, that's great. You have the right to have a belief. I believe in my country, we have freedom of religion. I know here in India, it's multi-religious. They have Buddhists, Hindus, Muslims. People get to live their truth, right? And that should be how it is, right? You can believe what you want to believe, be happy. But I don't believe you should push your ideas on other people. I don't think if there's a God that he needs you to lobby for him, okay, ding dong? Anyway, guys, hopefully you had fun with this chat. Hopefully you enjoyed talking to me. Did you go to church today? Go to church. It's too late. I'm a Catholic. Oh, well, good for you. I hope the priest touched you. I hope he went right up in there. No, I don't go to church. I don't need church. It's perfectly fine to be happy with who you are. You don't need to, cling to some God or some Messiah. You can just be yourself. And if you do want to cling to a God or Messiah, that's up to you also. And you deserve the right to do that. And nobody should discriminate against you for having certain beliefs. And if you're really some 15-year-old kid trying to preach the word, then take it somewhere else, young lady or man. I'm not interested in your God. I'm not interested in whatever snake oil you're selling. If it makes you happy, then good for you. I hope you have a great life, and I hope you stay in school and brush your teeth. And Esmo Garza, hello. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the chat. Anyway, guys, I've had some fun tonight talking to all of you guys. It's been interesting. I've gotten a couple whack jobs in here, but for the most part, we've had some pretty good adult conversations.
Smash the like button. We love you. Subscribe, share.
Yeah.
Definitely share the video.
Take a minute to smash the like button. I'm really loving these Indian snacks, yo.
Reborn abroad. Plan your future now.
Brush your teeth. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. Great night.
You.
I really enjoyed chatting with most of you. And again, I'll reiterate, if you see the video later, leave it in the comments. I would really like to see what you guys think of these circumstances and what you think happened here. This guy, I'll pray for you. How about you pray for my nuts? How about you pray for my nuts on your fucking forehead? Pray right now. I'll put them on your fucking tongue. Anyway, brush your teeth. My job in this world is not to please none of you. I run my own business. I do right by people. I do right by my family. That's enough. You know, my morality comes from being a good person, not from having to cling to some kind of existential thing that makes me have to be good. Morality, and again, like I said earlier in the video, guys, you know, in the West, we have Judeo-Christian morals, and I think that is a good thing. But that doesn't mean necessarily you need to, you know, proselytize to other people and push your ideas on other people. And, you know, I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all for religion. I think everybody needs to do whatever makes them happy, whatever works for them, and whatever gets them through this challenging experience that we call the human experience.
Hello from Malaysia.
Hey, what's up from Malaysia? Yo, I love Malaysia. KL's awesome. Penang is awesome.
Penang is awesome. We love Malaysian food.
Malaysia's
oh my
great.
God, cheese naan.
Yeah.
What's that place again?
Oh,
The cheese naan place?
RSMY cheese naan. I love oh my God.
One of our favorite places to eat,
That's
guys.
a heart attack on a plate, but it's delicious.
But we love it so much.
But yeah, Malaysia's awesome. So if you can, dude from Malaysia, I'd love to hear what you think. What do you think happened with this whole Trump shooting thing? I'm curious to hear what other people think from overseas. You soft, my boy. I don't know if this guy's talking to me or to this tech kid, but yeah, I have no idea. Am I soft?
We've been in Malaysia before.
I'm
yes.
soft, then come see me.
We've been in Malaysia many times.
Yeah, many times. KL is a great city.
Hey, Tech Widge kid, you're an idiot, dude. Stop being a hater. Hater! Hater in the room!
I don't understand why they keep trying to hide his message.
Oh, I just did that.
Oh, good. Yeah, they keep, like, this is what I mean. Like,
yeah, we've been to Malaysia like several times.
We need social media companies keeping us from having like arguments or adult conversations or speaking amongst each other.
I'm not a hater.
Yeah,
just
preaching the word
right,
with
whatever.
my fucking nuts on your chin.
I already have
Preaching
a
the
halo.
word.
Look at the halo.
Yeah, Mish get me a halo. You can call me Saint Nuts in your mouth. Yeah.
I know plenty of Christians with tattoos.
I know plenty of Christians that are shitty fucking people.
That's weird.
Like it's not.
That's like a weird thing.
Like just being a Christian isn't synonymous with being a good person. It's like anything else. Like there's good people and bad people in all religions. Like,
you are a hater because your word is negative, nothing positive, and it sounds like you're spewing shit.
yeah, it's just some troll. Somebody trying to get attention.
Us Malaysian don't care about other countries' politics. Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
for sure. I'm just very curious as to what went down because it's all just happening now, guys. Like nobody really knows exactly what happened. It's some stuff that's fishy for sure, and
I wonder if that was even the guy.
I figure we'd all discuss it. Somebody says, "Do I have Lucifer vibes?" Sorry, or does he have Lucifer vibes? Maybe I do have Lucifer vibes. Maybe I'm the devil. I don't know. Bad morals. I would guarantee that there's a whole lot of priests sticking their fucking hands down little children's pants that have a lot worse morals than I do. Catholic Church ain't so clean, homie. I grew up Catholic too. But I'm not like some hardline atheist, which is so weird that this kid has gotten all like fixated on me. It could be an adult even. Who knows? This could be some like middle-aged man pretending to be a 15-year-old kid.
Nobody knows. The internet's crazy.
Yeah. Hollywood says, I find it funny that you say you are praying, but you are still speaking of hate. That's an oxymoron. Yeah, I mean, listen, if someone's like a Christian and they legitimately believe in these things, I have no problem with that. Life's hard. Believe what you want to believe. If it doesn't hurt anybody, then great. If it makes you a better person, then great. But it's just like, you don't need to push your ideas on other people, and I think that's universal. I think like we should respect each other's values and differences. And like, I'm from the West. My morals come from Judeo-Christianity. You know, just like everybody else from the West. You know, what we perceive as right and wrong is influenced by Christianity. But that being said, I don't want to go back to the fucking Dark Ages. I don't want to live under the authority of the church like we did in like the Black Plague and in the 15th century. So yeah, interesting stuff, guys. We had an interesting chat. We had some really colorful characters in the chat tonight. And anyway, like I said, once again, if you guys are seeing this chat at a later time, please let me know what you think happened, because I'm really curious to hear all the different opinions. I heard some really interesting opinions tonight. Some people thought it might be a setup for him to win, to make it look more garner more sympathy. It's very difficult. Do I believe Jesus was a black man? That's funny. Do you believe that my nuts are on your chin?
See you soon, reborn.
Hollywood.
See you,
Yo,
Hollywood.
guys, thank you for the engagement, and
we love you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Like, share.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Keep your good videos coming.
Thanks, bro. And if you guys are thinking about moving into Southeast Asia and getting set up, you want to teach English in Cambodia, Vietnam, you want to do business, just let us know.
We did some videos in Albania as well. Definitely check those out.
Yeah, we still have partners in the Balkans. Like, you know, we got our homies out in Albania if you're thinking about going to a nice place to retire. We also have, you know, connections in, you know, here in India. It's fledgling. We're just starting to build our network, but we've made some fantastic content, you know, and contacts. And, you know, we've built a little bit of a network here, and we're planning to build more of a network here. And actually, I find India to be an amazing country, guys. You guys shouldn't listen to what you hear about India. You know, if you hear negative things, like, I think it's important to remember it's a very diverse country. There's a lot of different regions. In each region, people speak different languages, have different cultures. So, like, if one region isn't like your style, you can just go to a different one, and it's like a different country. So,
India is so cool. The food is delicious. We love India.
Yeah, I love it so far. It's fantastic. And it's just so much more open for business than Southeast Asian countries. It's so much easier. The visas, the business visas, you know, just in general, like Americans, we get this 5-year tourist visa, 6 months per entry. I mean, you know, you want to stay 1 year in Thailand and you're going to drop like pretty much $1,000 a year, almost however you do it. Whereas it could be more. Cambodia is pretty cheap, but you know, here's this country that has all these states that have all these different ways of living, these different lifestyles, different environments, different cultures, and yet you have a very free and easy visa. So I think India is something that people should be looking at, and I think it's a place that is probably not on a lot of people's radars because maybe they have, you know, seen some things about some of the big overcrowded cities, but man, there's some really cool, nice, like lifestyle places out here. And we're building a network here, guys, so we're going to be able to help you facilitate in India as well. So whether you want to teach English in Southeast Asia, retire in the Balkans, do some kind of import-export business in India, get at us, guys. We have local contacts that can help make everything easier for you. You know, once you're in our network, you get access to all of our contacts. We also do hourly consulting. If you don't know where you want to live, reach out to us. If we resonate with you, if we seem authentic, if we seem like honest people, reach out to us on any of the social media in the description. We can help you get your start. Our mission statement primarily is to help people from the West relocate to places where their strong passports and their currencies can offer them a better quality of life, more opportunity. We're a little bit like nomad capitalists, but rather than reaching the top, most wealthy demographic, we primarily focus on regular people, people who are just looking to change their lives. Maybe they have some assets, they own a house, they have something, you know, that, you know, is of some value, but where they're living, they're not getting a good quality of life. What we try to do is we try to connect them into markets where their currency goes further, their strong passport goes further, and they can create opportunity, they can bring capital to these countries. It's just overall trying to, you know, help people adjust to this new globalized world and see where they can leverage whatever assets that they have to get the most out of their life. So that's our mission, and that's what we try to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you guys enjoyed it, please, once again, take a second to smash the like button, share the video. And if you guys have opinions and you're seeing this video later, once again, please tell me in the comments. I want to know all of what you guys think happened with this Trump thing. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know us a little bit. Like I said, I speak very frankly. We also have Rumble. We have Locals. So you can check us out there. Sometimes we'll post videos that we can't post on YouTube because, of censorship, obviously. So,
Instagram.
On Instagram, we post stories every single day. Also, YouTube Shorts. Our shorts are different than our long-form videos, so definitely check that out. We're also on LinkedIn. You can reach us pretty much anywhere. I'm on X. I don't post too much on X. Usually I just drop the new video. Occasionally I'll do some commentary. But for the most part, we're up on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. So definitely hit us up, Reborn Abroad. And, look for our new jiu-jitsu brand coming out. We're going to be introducing our new grappling brand, Ronin Flow Grappling. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I hope you and your families are safe. I pray for my country to whatever ambiguous God I may or may not believe in. Right?
Smash the like button.
I do want things to get better for America, and I do want things to get better for the whole world, really. I mean, we're in a modern period. I feel like we should be doing much better and treating each other much better. But sadly, human beings are imperfect. And that is our curse. In the West, in Judeo-Christianity, they believe the reason human beings are imperfect is because of the whole forbidden fruit thing. And who knows, But at the end of the day, it is what it is. People are fucked. There's no country in the world where people aren't fucked, right? So you have to find where you're happy and where your life works. And that doesn't mean that America or Canada or Australia or any of these places you're coming from are the worst places or the best places. There is no worst or best. It's just what's right or wrong for you. And if you're looking for something different, you're not happy with your situation in the West, reach us. We can help you guys plot out, a new chapter in your life, potentially new opportunities. And thank you for watching once again. I appreciate you all. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's family is safe. It's starting to pour rain out here right now. It's a little bit late. I'm getting ready for bed. I love all you guys. Take care of you and your family. And I hope that everything gets better for my country and some of this madness calms down. We can start talking to each other again. I gotta see it now. I gotta figure out how to. Oh, there you go. Look, the X is in the top. Subscribe and share, son.